Hello and welcome to once again return Musical Madness. Uh, we are playing a Monster Hearts 2 hack from the Gauntlet Codex Glamour 2, written by our very own Patrick here. And this is Once Again We Return, which is based on the comic The Wicked and the Divine, which ended wonderfully. I won't spoil anything, but quite good. And we are creating the most ethically non-ambiguous, nice, sweet pantheon that has ever been. Like, all our people are going to get together. It's going to be like the Brady Bunch or the Partridge Family of the Recurrences. Perfectly fine. And of course, that's not going to hold up. But I am your wonderful MC, Ferret, also known as Sawyer. I'll answer to either. Gender-wise, any pronouns are fine as long as they're said with respect. So I'm going to go around and let my players introduce themselves. All of these players were recruited from the Gauntlet. That is the gauntlet-rpg.com. You find some of the best players on there, and these are some of the... I've played with all of these people. They are quite good at what they do. So, Ludo, would you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Ludo. I go by any pronouns, and I'll be playing David Dos Campos, which has awakening as Egeria, a nymph of forbidden knowledge and king making. What else
Oh.
will we introduce about our character at this point?
Oh, nothing about the character, just yourself right now.
Oh, good. Then I
Sorry.
already talked too much.
Yes. Next, Patrick and your wonderful cat.
I'm Patrick, he, him. That's Zeno, she, her. Slash any sort of noise that food makes. That's also her pronouns. I'm super stoked to be in this. I've been away from this project for a while. I've been thinking about Once Again We Return again recently, so it's a great time to get back into it.
Next up, Sabine.
Hi, I'm Sabine. I use any pronouns. I will be here only for this session, but I'm waitlisted for the other ones, so who knows?
And Puckett.
Hi, I'm Puckett. I use he, him pronouns, and I think an 8-inch sweet potato pie is a perfectly valid breakfast.
That is wonderful. And I believe everyone has come prepared with their gods. So we can introduce our character, their godly nature, and I guess like introduce the skin you're playing, your purviews, fashion, and we'll get to the moves and backstories in a bit. So up first in character keeper order is Echo.
All right, so I'm playing Kagami Endo, she, her, who has incarnated into the god slash also a nymph, Echo, who was, cursed by angry gods for, basically covering up the sins of Zeus to his wife. Cursed to be unnoticed, cursed to be unheard, and dealing with unrequited love. The previews I went with were unrequited love and mirrors. The skin is the unseen, which we'll sort of like feel out and figure how that's going. But I think there was something wrong with her incarnation. I have a mortal NPC of someone who's big on the like Recurrence forums. I think they set up a personal meeting with one of the gods. I found out about it. I followed them. He never showed up, but I was there and I wasn't supposed to be, and things went weird from there. Her fashion when she's around and visible enough, I put a psych ward bondage. It's very like straps and lots of unnecessary layers. You can think like Tilda Swinton from that terrible Constantine movie, if you've seen that. Very dark, a little cold, not good at much else. And yeah, I think that's where we're starting.
That's very good. Very interesting. And what Patrick did is quite good. I would like you to explain what your incarnation means, how you came to be. So up next, Agaria.
So yeah, so I'm playing Egeria, also a nymph, and they gonna be simulating this role with the skin of the worm, which fits one of the purviews that he has, which is going to be forbidden knowledge. How king making actually applies, it's more that they are more of a producer than a performer. So their look is robot rock revolutionary. So his entire look is based on basically the post-industrial diaspora. So it's taking all this techno and industrial rock and everything and piling up something revolutionary that is created by the children and the children of immigrants, and it's created this unique sound that at the same time uses the sounds of the modern lifestyle, and at the same time invokes the sense of a culture and a homeland that they lost. So it's again, it's robot diaspora rock. So yeah, that is the vibe that they're going on. And they incarnated as Egeria because they always been looking for the truth. They already worked as a producer before, more on the sidelines, helping performers organize gigs, acting as an amateurish agent, organizing collaborations, helping with equipment. The thing is that they started going deep into the secrets of the recurrency, and they found something that transformed them and gave him these vast resources of forbidden knowledge. Now, this forbidden knowledge is extremely damaging, especially to mortals, which is pretty bad because his divine purview is to give this knowledge to promising musicians for them to use this divine inspiration to climb to the peaks of their career. But the problem is that most of them cannot deal with this knowledge, and it drives them into doing awful things or to delving too deep and getting even worse consequences. So they are the steward of this knowledge, and they are looking out for someone that can actually share with this, because it's pretty lonely in the backstage.
Oh, poor Agaria. I mean, at least she can be seen. And up next, Pasithea. I believe that's how you say that.
I have no idea how to say that. I'm not. It's a Greek word. So, well, I am, which probably is not her original name anyway, but that's what she calls herself, or used to call herself, because it's a nice name. Carvelin Davos is on the Bedlam playbook, which means that she sees more, that there is more to the world anyway, and there are things out there that have to be seen to be believed, or to believe to be seen, who knows. Everything seeing, believing is almost the same thing anyway. Yeah, Carvelin got into contact with some strange drugs, at least that's what they think happened, and then there was this contact with Pasithea, who is not a nymph. She is a grace, which is somehow different. I don't know how, but it is. She was the personification of relaxation, meditation, hallucinations, and altered states of consciousness. She was the daughter of Hera and Dionysus. Well, yeah, marital faith wasn't all too great, not even with Hera, and was married to Hypnos, the god of sleep. Yeah. And her fashion style, I've written down hippie space opera, and that's pretty much it. If you've seen the Australian entry at the Eurovision Song Contest, you might know what I mean. If you haven't, go and look at it because it's amazing. It's a fairy space opera with lots of sparkles and and she likes to change her style every once in a while. The music she makes is kind of trancey with weird noises and sounds, and you if you take drugs, then if you want to understand it, or if she's passifair, you might not need to take drugs.
Intriguing. And last but not least, El Tunchi.
So I am playing El Tunchi, which is an Amazonian forest spirit / god that kind of acts like a will-o'-the-wisp. It whistles at people, and if you ignore it, it gets louder, but if you follow the whistle, and it kills you in extraordinarily violent and painful ways because it protects the forest. And it incarnate. I'm playing a character named Danilo Bomba, and he was being chased by Junta death squads and somehow managed to escape into the forest where he began hearing this whistling. But El Tunchi didn't actually kill him then. Just kind of he had this thing in the back of his head. And when the incarnation started happening, well, it was an obvious choice. Anyway, Danilo is the god whose purviews are nature and wrath. His fashion style is death metal stranding. He has abattoir eyes, and he was born from the blackness. Any other questions?
Just state what skin you're using.
Oh, I'm playing the Fomorian because it just seems like a skin that is entirely dedicated to destroying everything. Is that pretty much on target for their ferret?
It's a lot about wrath, so I mean, you got a good one.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think we'll start going back around doing like what moves you picked, and I guess more about your do you prefer to be called by your divinity name or your human name? Does it matter? And I'll start asking some questions about Luna, the ancient one who has awoken you. So we will start with Echo. Just what does Echo prefer to be called?
I think she sort of sees Echo as her only chance to make any sort of impression. Nobody cares about, no, everybody ever has cared about Kagami, especially in this sort of like spotlight fame sort of scenario. If she's got any hope of people remembering her, it's going to be as the god.
Understood. And describe which moves you took for our player characters.
So the base move for the class is She's Not There, is the one I chose for that. And it's that you have to make a difficult conscious effort to be directly noticed. Roll to keep your cool when you want to interact with others. And I'm interpreting that as... one of the options on rolling really well is not only that they see you, but that they remember you. And I think that's sort of her problem. To most people she interacts with, to the public in general, they don't have a strong reaction to her, and as soon as she's out of sight, she just sort of fades into the background of unimportant random memories for the day. I think the other Pantheon members can remember her better, but she still has problems communicating. But I think to the wider public, the idea that Echo is a god in this pantheon is sort of controversial. She's like a rumor. There are people that say they've been to one of her performances, but they can't really provide any details or photos or anything like that. And so it's this constantly debated thing back and forth as to whether there's actually a god there.
Is it sort of like the Beatles thing where it's like one of them supposedly died and was replaced with that horrible look-alike?
Yes.
Like if you play Pastathe's newest record backwards, it says that Echo is not real. Echo is not real. It's
Yeah, all sorts of like conspiracy theory nonsense.
yeah, I'm fine with that.
The other moves I have are Voyeur, which is I can spin a string to say that I've actually been in a scene the entire time, or to show up undetected and possibly cause chaos. I think she, a lot of times when she's being unnoticed, since I went with mirrors, there's like an odd number of reflective surfaces in this comic, and so there's always a chance for Echo to just be like peeking out of a reflection. And then I also have Remember Me, which is basically I interpret as if I hurt people enough, it makes an impression and they'll remember me for a little while.
That is exactly what that move is about.
Lovely.
Yeah, and
My Darkest Self is all about like proving to the world that I do exist, and my sex move is all not necessarily about sex, just meaningful physical intimacy, and it connects me strongly to one person who can remember me for a while.
oh, lovely. And since I did some jury rigging with your character creation rules for the Once Again We Return, you can have been a god for 1 to 3 months now, or anytime below 1 month to 3 months old. How long do you think your Echo has been divine?
I think on that long end, that approaching 3 months, it's time enough for like all these weird rumors to have built up around her, and time enough for her to really be frustrated that she can't make a breakthrough to people yet.
Yeah, and I think for like with your recurrence, the special thing is you're the only one of the gods currently to have seen Luna in her new moon phase.
Mm.
It's like I think that's like why like you went to that place, it looked empty, then like someone snuck up on you.
Nice.
It's like, yeah, you'll do. Okay, I think that's good for now.
Cool.
So, Agaria, let's describe your moves and everything.
Yeah, so Aegeria is the worm, and from the moves I've picked debate, which on his case is going to be a stash of dangerous secrets of all sorts. And whenever I show part of my heart or to another character, they find an object they covet. So they mark experience when that thing that they so much covet becomes theirs. And I have bargaining ceremony. So with eye contact and smoke, you can bring someone into a strange trance with you. While there, the two of you can trade strings and objects and make promises. The MC will ask you some questions about what the trance is like. The bargain can include strings you've each gathered on others, as well as new strings on yourselves. When you're both satisfied, the exchange occurs and the trance ends. So you can do some very interesting string changing around.
And what is your ceremony usually like? Like, how do you initiate it?
So usually this happens on the VIP room of some prestigious club of one sort or another, in which we both share drinking from the same cup. And every time anyone receives the cup, they have to add something to the cup. Some drink or a bit more esoteric when it gets gods involved. But the question is, the cup is going around, and everyone, every time they receive, they must take, they must add something to it.
That gives me such wonderful ideas. Just like, oh, the color of your eyes is lovely this night. Great vintage. And the worm's sex move and darkest self.
My sex move is after I have sex with someone, ask what they would like and promise you'll get it to them. And then I get 2 strings on them. And my darkest self is that I become too heady, too lax, too vague. I become consumed by this need to dominate. to make the people, things around me part of my treasure of my heart. Let them know that they are mine and mine alone. Yeah, and I get to escape this awful darkest self when your treasured things prove that they they are not things that I can own, or that I finally learned the difference between an object and a person.
Oh, and that's an easy thing for a star to know. And I guess the final thing is from a week to 3 months. How long have you been awoken?
I think somewhere between 2 months and 3 months. So just enough that the first pop stars and rock band members that Egeria uplifted, they started acting odd and went pretty much the usual star doom Icarus crash and burn. They started happening way too fast, and all of them can have ties to Egeria. So yeah, basically, just enough that he's secluding himself and saying, maybe I need to be more careful and not toy as much with mortals because they cannot hold this.
Okay. And does David prefer to be called by David or Agaria?
Yeah, Egeria, because David X Campus is something to appear on credits. Egeria is how he managed to feel confident to appear on stage.
Okay. Up next, Pasithea.
Yeah, well, okay. About the moves, I have taken Good Omens. That is a move when I roll a 10 on a gaze into the abyss. I can choose to get it confusing and alarming visions, but share them with anyone in the scene you choose. So, yay! That seems like an amazing idea to have confusing visions for everybody. Lovely. And then I have Through the Looking Glass, so I can slip into a supernatural world, such as the afterlife or a fairy court or a parallel dimension. Yeah, because normal words, a bit boring sometimes. This is from the playbook The Bedlam, which was, I think, written by you, Ferret, and which kind of fits the whole altered states of perception theme very well.
Yeah, and your darkest self and sex move.
Yeah, my darkest self is I'm sick of mortal life. I just want to hang out with the freaks, the geeks, the uniques, the gods, everyone, but mortal is boring. Blah. I go somewhere else when I'm there. To hell, maybe, just to talk to the demons, or to heaven to talk to the angels into taking some drugs.
Hey, angels! I know you like stones.
Yeah, wow.
And I believe your
my sex move is when I have sex with someone, see their world and all its terror and wonder. So, I probably will want to have sex with people who aren't from around here a lot.
It's not like my Shub Nagorath and Patrick's Bedlam from before did not have like the best relationship with that. And do you prefer Pasithea or let me check. Okay, she prefers
she isn't certain if it's Carvelin or if it's Passy, but it depends on her mood really. But Pasithea is maybe a bit of a mouthful really. But you can chant it nice. Pasithea. Yeah.
If I still listen to my mom, this would be the perfect name.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe that's good for Pasithea currently. And we end with Danilo.
I've been a god for a month now. I just wanted to tell you that.
For a
month, I think. I took that drug, and then there was something different, and I liked it, and then I had a thing where the band in this place was very boring, and I think I spiked it up a little, and people liked it. So hey, woo, I'm going places. Hell, maybe.
We're all going to hell. our own specific ones, but still. So yes, Danilo, your moves are fun.
What do you mean going to hell? I'm already there. Anyway, so hi, I'm playing Danilo, and well, he kind of prefers to be called Danilo because to him, Tunchi is just kind of Tunchi saved him, but Tunchi basically just gave him the power to do what he wanted to do. So Tunchi's kind of a passenger in this because Tunchi recognized, hey, if I give you this power, you're going to kind of do the stuff that I would have wanted to do anyway. So, you got this recurrence thing coming up. What the hell? Why not? I'll just kind of possess you like a little devil riding on your shoulder, but like probably not as bad of a devil as you already are. Anyway, I chose the moves Eye of Valor, which allows me to levy curses on people. And I also chose Ruling Over Ashes. And when I retaliate with unnecessary force or overkill, to me, there's no such thing as overkill. There's merely sufficient kill. Gain the condition Enraged and either deal 1 extra harm or gain a string on a character, whichever is most appropriate. My darkest move is unleashing all of Dante's hells upon people. And then the sex move for my character is when I share intimacy with someone, mark experience if they love you, they mark experience if you love them. And I think I've been incarnated as a god for maybe 2 months, maybe 2.5. It took a while for Tunchi to realize what was going on, but once Tunchi did, there it is. Womb.
Nice. And I think we're at the point to start doing backstories, unless people want to describe their characters a bit more before, like another round a bit, or either way, I'm fine just going back around and I think administering backstories. Okay, so we will go back around to Echo. Please read off your backstories.
Too many tabs. Find the thing. There we go. Oh, down, further. Not that far. All right. So just as a note going forward, I am hard to pin down. No one can start the game with more than 1 string on me. After the start, it can go as high as you want. But I've spied on everyone, so I take 1 string on everyone. Would that include the Ancient One or just the other players?
Normally, it would include just the players, but since you've seen Luna in her new moon phase, take 1 on her as well.
Nice. And then someone noticed you. Take an extra string on them, and they take a string on you. So who's had a solid, memorable interaction with Echo that they haven't actually forgotten?
It could be me. I mean, altered perception of reality.
Nice.
I see people all the time that aren't really there.
I like that. That's cool. So yeah, you take a string on me, and
Cool.
I get an extra 1 on you.
Cool.
And that's my questions.
Up next, probably one of my favorite backstory questionnaires is the Worm with Agaria.
Yeah. So I decide who I treasure, and I describe the moment each catch my eye. So I think there are 2 obvious candidates. One was Echo, because I can relate to her and I see on her as a kindred soul of sorts that is always on backstage, but I kind of don't get that she does not necessarily wants that. That's something that happens to her, but that makes me feel like I can relate to her. And I don't exactly remember the moment in which I really became fascinated with her. And this is really frustrated because usually these kind of things I know. And kind of what I want is to relive that moment and figure out what it is. And the other person that I treasure, it is going to be Pasitia. Because once, I don't know if Pasitia remembers, because it was on a very, let's say that there was a cup going around and someone kept throwing a lot of drugs there, and Pasitia told me something that not even I could know, and it is something that it's the only thing that has been keeping me going through lately, because I'm still mourning the last foolish collaboration, and if not for Pasitia, I will probably still be on the dumps. So I valued that, even if probably for them it was just another drag inside. And then everyone else is merely currency. Ask each one to tell something mean I say to them, and I get one string on them.
So, Danilo, what mean thing did Agaria tell you?
I think she said that I was a street kid, that I would never be anything more than a street kid, that I was uneducated and didn't belong in the pantheon because all I brought was anger and vengeance, and I had nothing to offer to elevate anyone or anything ever.
In those exact words.
Pretty much. I mean, doesn't that sound kind of like on brand right there?
True.
Okay. So up next we have Pasiphae's backstories.
Oh, yeah. I know someone is more than they seem. Gain 2 strings on them. I think I want to imagine, at least, that Danilo is more than he seems. Can't be all wrath down there, right? Or maybe they can. Hey, and then he's Steven. Totally cool. Yeah. So I'm taking 2 strings on Danilo. Sorry, fuck it. And I have another one, if that's okay with you. Sorry, I shouldn't have just blurted that out. That's okay with you.
Is what okay?
That I have 2 strings on him because I know someone's more than they seem.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Cool. Fine.
You know I roll with things. You know I roll with things.
Yeah, I just want to check because I've just declared that and noticed that maybe you weren't too happy about
And
it.
honestly, I think that's probably totally in keeping with the pantheon. Like maybe nobody respects Danilo because they haven't seen him do anything yet.
Yeah, and he's not from the same pantheon like these 2 nymphs. They're nymphs, okay. Come on. But you're something different. You're something else. That's interesting.
But
and I
also a forest spirit, strangely enough.
So kind of a very angry nymph, maybe. I am strange. I give everyone 1 string on me because I'm so strange. That's just how I am. Have a string, have a pill, have a good time.
Okay, and last but not least, Danilo, your interesting backstories.
All right, give me 2 seconds here to scroll back up to it. Fomorian. A friend laughs with me, not at me. Now, given the way the Pantheon is set up so far, who isn't laughing at me? I mean, we already established Gary doesn't like me. Pasithea doesn't really like me. So, I mean, does that kind of leave it at echo? Or is that
No,
a question for Cerebell when she jumps in?
I think Pasithea actually does like you. She thinks you're more than just what you present. But also, I think it could be fun to leave that with the god of angry lightning and war.
Which really kind of does fit, doesn't it?
I mean, it's a lightning god that's not from their pantheon, so you know you can trust him.
All right, so we'll save that one for Cerebell then. And then the other one is someone has criticized me. Give them 2 strings on you. So, yeah, Ludo, take 2 more.
Good. I'm gonna sell that to other people.
Oh crap, you can. See, and the other we're going to create just like your NPC gods, which these have not emerged yet. You 4 are currently the only 4 gods who have emerged, since I'm doing this very early in the Recurrence's lifestyle. But I see some of you have already written up your gods, like there is Parvati from, I believe, Echo, and someone has Persephone. I'm not sure if that was Cerebell or okay, that's Ludo. So yeah, I just want to know. You do get to decide what kind of relationship you're going to have, because with the way once again Return does, you usually create just a NPC god and an NPC mortal, one of which you have a positive relationship with, the other a bad relationship with. So since I see Echo does have both her mortal and her divinity, with your mortal, since they will be appearing in this game, do you have a good or a bad relationship with this forum moderator?
No new thing. I have a bad relationship because he was the one that set up a secret meeting with Luna. He was going to do like an investigative scoop or some ridiculous thing. I managed to find out about it. I followed to where it was supposed to be, and he just ghosted. He never showed up, and then I got in the shit I did. So his cowardice is what cursed me with this.
And you know he's probably got to be completely angry that he missed this chance.
Oh, yeah. So I think bad relationship with him, and that leaves open the door for a good relationship with Parvati when... I don't know. I'll leave gender up to you with Parvati.
Okay, whenever they show up, be it they sticking with they or not. And
then for the in-between folk hero, heroine, I'll leave open a complicated relationship for Narcissus whenever.
Oh, all the folk heroes will be complicated. It'll be fun. And Ludo, how are you going to be with Persephone?
I'm gonna make a bad decision. I'm going to make positive. The problem is, if you read the short blurb that I wrote, that is probably a very bad thing, because she went to show me things, and the problem is that even to me, that might not be something that I can withstand. So I'm gonna have a positive relationship with Persephone, and I'm gonna have a negative relationship with Marcia Aurea, because I promised that I would help them, just I helped all the others, and suddenly I got the news of the secrets and the promotions on them. What the hell? And so they are kind of trying to get in the good favors of another gods, so that they can kind of get their own path to stardom and to get back at me.
Ooh, if I maybe Marcia's like someone in her family or close relationship is one of the musicians you burned out.
Then they will kind of understand me, right? That's the thing.
Okay.
I think that they don't want to understand, like that they don't believe when I say that it is because me. She thinks that that's because they are idiots, and that will never happen to them.
Understood. Oh, poor woman chasing power she cannot have. Not like us at all. Okay, I will check and see if, let's see. Okay, we have Atargatis. Ooh, a Syrian sea goddess. And
I am not entirely sure what I'm supposed to do right here, because I haven't found what this means.
this isn't from character creation.
Okay.
There will be other NPC gods in the pantheon. You get to decide what relationship you have with the one you make, be it positive or negative. And there will also be a mortal connected to your mortal life, which will be the opposite of the relationship you chose with the god. So if you chose a positive relationship with your fellow pantheon mate, you will have a negative relationship with your mortal NPC.
Okay, I have an idea. Or I have two ideas. I have Atargatis, which is fine, which I like. She is a sea goddess, a Syrian sea goddess. She's maybe associated with castration a little. Used to be. It was a thing in Syria. These guys just did it. She maybe doesn't know why they did it, but that implies a sort of an ecstatic relationship with her worshippers. And also she's a mermaid. So we have a great relationship because I like mermaids.
That's a wonderful reason why.
Yeah, she's a mermaid. I'm not, but hey, I mean, come on. But yeah. And the negative mortal relationship, that will be my former parole officer, who thinks I should stop taking drugs and trying to pretend to be a goddess or whatever shit is going on in my head. It's all the drugs. You have to face reality, girl. You have to. And maybe he's calling me Mary or something because he thinks that's my name.
You've got to get clean and find religion.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Because there is only one God, right?
Yes. Really? Which is definitely something I wanted to touch on with like this 1996 era of like the satanic panic still like in memory.
Cool.
Okay, and our wonderful Fomorian. Do you have an idea for your god in a mortal NPC?
I was just actually working on the mortal NPC, but the god is Quetzalcoatl, who is the goddess of knowledge, incarnated in Maria Sanchez, an undocumented 16-year-old who came to the U.S. as a kid and now sings in hardcore bands, basically just ignoring the cops and running if it comes to that. Although she probably won't be running now or whenever she incarnates or shows up in the Pantheon. And the folk hero, just because I thought this would be a whole lot of fun. Are we at the folk hero part yet? Is that okay? Ferret?
Yes, that is fine. Sorry, I was
folk hero. I chose Paul Bunyan and his Big Blue Ox Babe. And I don't think that he and a spirit of protecting the Amazon rainforest are going to get along very well. You know, generally loggers and, you know, wrathful forest spirits kind of don't mesh. And I literally had just written the word mortal. So I'm going to say the mortal is... I want to go kind of cheesy here. The mortal is Davina Darkness, who is a fan of death metal and the nascent black metal scene, and is a huge fan of the music that Danilo made before incarnating as a god, because it's just it was the stuff that kind of made earache records, you know, like the old Entombed albums and the old Morbid Angel albums, and just really vicious, ferocious death metal, which kind of had some blackened metal aspects of it, which, well, that's what we'd now consider blackened metal. but she had been following it for quite some time. And now it's, he had known her because the scene wasn't that huge at that point, and she was a woman in the scene, which was even more staggeringly rare. So, like, this is back when you have maybe 50 people show up, and if one of them was a woman, it's like, oh my God, wait, there's a woman? So, yeah.
And is your relationship with Quetzalcoatl good, or your relationship with Davina good?
One's good, the other's bad, right?
Correct.
I don't want to say the relationship with Quetzalcoatl is good, but I think because of her age, he feels protective. Does that make sense?
So you're protective and she doesn't approve.
Yeah. That's actually perfect, because she's like, I've been in hardcore punk. I mean, dude, back off. Do you know how many dudes I've laid out on the stage? I don't need your protection. But he looks at it kind of like, but your age. You like almost like a big brother, but an overly protective one.
Yeah.
So I guess that means the relationship with Divina Darkness would be, well, better than that, positive.
Yes. And I'd forgotten to get Sabine's folk hero or heroine. So when you decide that, feel free to put it in chat or say it.
Okay, I have it. I think it's Janis Joplin, though, because that's perfect. She died of an overdose. Maybe she doesn't like people pushing drugs at other people.
Oh, a modern day folk heroine. I like that. Oh, this is going to be wonderful.
Ferret, one quick note. It hit me that Divina Darkness just really didn't fit what I was describing. Her name is Divina Death.
Got you. This is reminding me of my 90s goth era with going to the clubs and hearing the names.
Hi, I'm Sinovia.
Or it's like, I am Raven von Evanmore Blackheart. I got once.
Ferret, for God's sakes, do not start quoting My Immortal at me. Please don't. And that was way too close.
I've never read My Immortal. It was too. I read I think 3 chapters. It was too close to home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll have a 10-minute break. Come back and start building the mecha and world around us that we're going to play in. So see you all 10 minutes after 10 after the hour, basically. Are we all back? I think Puckett is here. Puckett, would you type into chat if you are here or say something? Oh no. I think we'll start moving on, and when Puckett returns, he can join us. But we will let's all look at the pick lists and setting playbook, which is probably, besides picking a god and a skin combo, like the most fun I have with this setting. So thank you, Patrick, for making this wonderfully intricate. So I'm going to go around and ask in the new camera order. Uh, what, like, do you want to be in a single city? Be traveling? What city do you would we normally hang out in, if any? That kind of thing. So, Agaria, would you? What do you vote in the static or the active traveling pantheon?
I will actually go into a compromise between the two. Like, we do not stick to a single city, but we kind of move along around a contained geographic area. So, like within a single country or a region of a continent, or if on a really big country, different states, something of the sort.
I think he may have frozen.
Yeah, I think they're at first.
Oh dear. He just looked very considering. It was hard to tell.
I wonder if there is a statue playbook.
Sorry about that. It is raining and thundering here, and
Oh,
so yeah, I heard that you wanted a compromise, and then my internet went out for a bit.
Yeah, I was thinking, not entirely world tour, but kind of we have maybe a city that is kind of our base of operation, but we go around either a country or a part of a continent, or if we are based on a really big country, a few states. So something, that we have an area of influence
Okay.
where we do shows around.
Okay. Puckett, what do you want? Like the staying in one city, the movement, like Ludo was talking about, with like a base of operations.
The times I've played Wicked and Divine, or Once Again We Return before, there's always been like a central base of operations, even if the characters moved around. I'd like to nominate Los Angeles, and I'm biased toward that because so many of my characters don't have papers and are from Central America, South America, Mexico, etc. So, I mean, I think Ludo and I might be talking about something similar. You show up someplace, you do a show, you go someplace, you do some god shit, and the next thing you know, you're back in LA and just kind of regroup there. And Ludo is nodding his head furiously, so.
Yeah. Just to check with the other two, it seems that we have 2 for that. Is that fine with you guys? Because I was going to offer off Los Angeles, Nashville, or New York as like an American city of base. It sounds like Los Angeles was pitched. I am fine with that if everyone else is. And I will question Echo though. Do we maybe have like magic mirrors that teleport us to different places that Echo has worked with, perhaps?
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, I think it's sort of haphazard, and they're not random places that they go to, but not sort of like a sensible network. Like the portals always go to the same place, but they're just weird places.
Yeah, like I like to imagine like you hold up like a map to it. It's like we want to go here. Like you end up in like the dive bar of Venice. It's like, well,
Yeah,
this is
there's
closed.
a lot of ending up in the bathrooms of like clubs or restaurants or things.
There was this superhero I liked who could teleport between any restaurants. It was just like, well, interesting. But yeah. So with that, I think I will ask, what elements drew the Pantheon to Los Angeles? And I will start in reverse order this time. So, Pasithea, what do you think drew you to Los Angeles or your people?
Yeah, Los Angeles. I have no idea about that city. So I think it's because it's big. There are lots of people, lots of different people, good music scene, sort of beaches, I guess, because it's at the sea.
Yeah.
And there is, oh wait, Los Angeles, is that the one with Hollywood?
Yes.
Yeah, it is. Right? Okay, yeah, then that's that.
So, would that be like the American version of Ancient History and Wonders?
Yeah.
Or movie
sure.
studios?
Yeah, I mean, sure.
Okay.
Also, we're not exactly if we do stuff, people are kind of used to people being really over the top in public, I imagine, at least. That.
A lot of eccentric people cavort there.
Yeah, cavorting is always nice. City where people can cavort, well, that's a rarity. You have to go there.
Yeah, so Echo, what do you feel drew you and yours to the city? You are the oldest. Why did this happen?
I think it is specifically the music scene in LA, that there's, even without us doing anything, there are constantly these like huge gatherings of people that are there with artistic energy and excitement sort of going. And if there's a place and an audience already primed, I feel like I have an even better chance of punching through and having a performance that people will at least remember, even if they forget me.
Oh, that's lovely. And I will ask Puckett and Ludo, is there anything else you want to add to this list of wonders that drew us to LA?
Excuse me, I had the mic up. The Border Patrol is present in LA, but does not operate in LA like it does at the border or just north of the border, or it does along the border in San Diego and points north. So it's far enough from the border to be reasonably safe, yet close enough that you don't have to go much farther to be away from being deported to, say, Mexico or South America or Central America or wherever.
Okay. Would that be like safety and write your own?
Kind of. You know, about as reasonable a degree of safety as you can get if you're undocumented.
Understood. And Ludo, was there anything else you wanted to add?
Yeah, because Nigeria is all around the people of the diaspora and using the new technologies to make new sounds that cross for the lost home and the new future that we're gonna claim for us. I think tech innovations is both a source of inspiration and honestly recruitment, because there's a lot of diaspora people working on that on that period, I assume. And yeah, that's part of the reason why they had an interest on that. And they always wanted to work on LA, but they could never afford it before until they actually became Nigeria. And now they have that door open.
Understood. It seems like we have a lovely little place going on. And to risk opening up a bit of banter, the next part is the Pantheon has a communal gathering place. This place of power could be a building, complex, or location. It can be newly built or repurposed. What do we call this place? Where is it? And I will open that up to anyone.
I have an idea. If y'all don't like it, that's fine. There is a very distinctive building in LA, the Capitol Records Tower. What if we just took the thing over? Yeah, let me see if I can find a picture real quick.
Yeah, it's nice and striking.
I mean, it's really unique. A lot of good records came out of that building. I mean,
It's round. That's fine. Everything that's round is cool.
It's pancakes. It make me think about pancakes for some reason.
damn it. Now I'm hungry again. And honestly, there's quite a few things that are ugly in LA. It's because LA just like tears everything down and builds it up all over again. California's kind of like that. Not a lot of history there. Not like Europe where you have like 400-year-old apartment buildings. It's like, oh, look, this apartment building is older than my country.
Also, it looks like it might have 12 stories, which is just thematically perfect.
Oh God, yes, perfect. Yeah,
Okay.
but I have no idea of which properties would apply to the Capitol Records Tower.
What would so do we keep it called the Capitol Records Tower, or like have you guys renamed it or claimed it in some other form?
I think we just call it the tower, and everybody of us has their own weird name for it that we can write on our records or something.
We are the nightmares of the postal office workers because each of us writes a different name for the tower.
But the street address would remain the same. So, and plus anything like, to the Pantheon, they just know, we'll just send it over there. So it's not nearly as bad as it would seem. They'd probably treat it like letters to Santa.
Okay, so I think with the 4 people here, you will each, I'll split you into groups of 2, and you will decide on one major element of the Capitol Records Tower, or the tower, or whatever tower it is that you reside in. So, Patrick and Ludo, what do you really want to see at the tower?
I kind of want to see a private lounge, so as someone where you can throw some nice parties, or retreat after party to lumber in the middle of the trash and the sweat.
So maybe like an exclusivity thing off of like reached only via pilgrimage, but the pilgrimage is like the social hoops you have to go through to get in.
Yeah, it's like a pilgrimage to the VIP lounge instead of Mecca.
Mm-hmm.
You need to go through the 12 stations of the pilgrimage, and then you get access to the secret floor.
Ooh, I like that. Yes, so Sabine and Puckett, what were you thinking about for the tower?
Well, I would like to have a spa or a dance floor. Or a spa
Like with
a dance
sauna.
floor.
I mean, I want to know more about the spa, like, sauna room, masseurs or masseuses. I mean, How
Yeah,
elaborate are
everything.
we going here? Everything?
Everything.
So
Like
you
a
get like those little
Roman.
slices of cucumber over your eyes, and you can get like the mud masks, and there's like a hot mud bath and everything.
Oh,
And this
yeah.
is before like all that fake detoxing stuff has been gotten out, so you get just a good massage.
Yeah, and we
And
get
nobody is talking about juicing.
Yes.
yes, and we have
Hardly anyone's
a
heard of
crocodile.
kale. Oh my God, this is the best timeline. Hardly anybody's heard of kale.
Yeah, well, you realize that we have had kale for centuries, but it was called by a German name, and now it's called kale because, well, it sells better.
Colonizers?
I have no idea.
Businesses.
Yeah. So,
Neo-colonizers.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure that Danilo would use it, but I'm totally down with the idea of having a spa in there.
Yeah, I like that this is like a supernatural kind of spa that it caters to everyone's needs or like what it thinks your needs are.
Now, when you say it caters to your needs or what you think your needs are, to what extent are you thinking, Ferret?
Like if Danilo wanted to rest up and get relaxed, and that meant training with a bunch of shadow dummies that he could punch until there were no more, he could do that.
Okay, just making sure you weren't going in a different direction with
Nothing, no happy ending type stuff. Just
okay,
yeah.
just a straight up spa, but it accommodates unusual techniques that are not. Okay, I got you.
It's an urban fantasy spa. Yeah, it's like I'm going to use acupuncture on you, and it's actually going to work. I'm going to put hot stones on you.
Acupuncture.
Yeah, like, here's hot stones. We've kept them in the sulfur baths for a while. Satan sends his regards. Great show last night.
And the fairies took them back in time so they could stay in there for like a century before they got pulled out. That sort of thing. Okay.
Yeah, and so I think I'll split you up into groups again. One of you will decide. Well, I forget. Like Patrick, with before the beginning of the Pantheon, the recurrence was. Is that only one choice or up to two?
It could be two if you could make them fit together, but it's probably easier with one.
Okay, so I think I will split you into groups again to see what is like. So before the beginning of this Pantheon, the recurrence was. Let's get our youngest and oldest god together, Patrick and Sabine.
And what were we supposed to do?
Oh,
Sorry.
So, are you looking over on the pick lists and setting playbook tab?
No. Where is that?
It's on the character keeper. The tabs at the bottom of the character keeper.
Oh God, there is a tab. Oh my God, I did this last. At least this yesterday that I missed the tab. There's a tab. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I didn't see that. Okay.
Well, welcome once again. We return.
Okay. So what we're picking from the recurrence pick list? Yes.
Yeah. Before the beginning of this Pantheon, the recurrence was. Did any of those hit you?
I think it should be maybe urban legend or historical oddity, because Egeria said that they had researched the thing and came across some information, so wouldn't make sense if it was totally forgotten.
Cool.
So I think urban legend.
Like spotty or conflicting records where there's no clear photos and there's no validated accounts or anything. Everything seems to be at cross purposes, but surely there must be something there, sort of thing.
I think to add to this, there's a very small underground scene of relics, the original wax record from 1906 of the last performance, the last picture of an actual photograph of one of the supposed gods, but actually stood still long enough for one of those janky ass old cameras to get a picture. So yeah, and now that it's here, Ludo and Puckett, the recurrence is.
Yeah, considering our group and the satanic panic stuff, maybe morally irresponsible, spiritually dangerous would be a good fit.
I like that. What do you think, Puckett? You're
Yeah, muted. I just realized. I mean, considering that I'm going to be fronting a death metal band in 1996, yeah, I'm okay with that.
oh, yay. And now we get to yes, place of media, social media. Who are connections? This is 96, so I know we have a forum board.
We have ICQ.
Oh,
Probably AOL. Was AOL Instant Messenger
it
around that time?
was. It was.
Okay.
It was very basic, but it was up this time.
So basically, by that point, I think AOL had connected to the internet because I remember the internet hating it. So, we have the actual internet as people used to use it without really many browser interfaces. So you have to kind of know Unix. You've got AOL. I think CompuServe and Prodigy were gone by that point. We have instant messaging. So I'm just going through like what the tech was in 96.
Yes,
Not necessarily saying we have all this.
yeah, that's fine. And I think you guys are like allowed the very first texting phones. It's still, beep, beep, beep. Okay, that's a T. Beep, beep, beep. That's an H. Yeah, pagers are a thing.
Yeah.
But
Pages with numeric codes like 911, 411, blah, blah, blah.
I guess I'm going to ask Echo. Is there a certain tabloid which seems to be too close to the truth?
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be like a music sort of pop scene reporter who keeps like trying to get in and do like exclusives from behind the VIP rope sort of stories.
Ooh, I like that. I'm getting the idea of someone British who was like dealing with Oasis and those bands that Leandro likes, and then it's like, well, now you get to go to the Recurrence. I get to go to America. You can do this or cover the Spice Girls. I'm going to America.
Okay. So because I was doing zines at that time, and God, Ludo mentioned it and like mentioned God obsessed zines. There was a zine around that time called Ben is Dead, running out of Los Angeles. I'm just thinking, God obsessed zine, British reporter. Maybe he's doing a zine called God is Dead.
I like the idea that to connect with your past a bit, Agaria and Danilo, that maybe there is a zine that is about like because you guys sort of get music from different cultures up in your scene, that people from like different cultures are coming together to create this zine, there's like five zines a week in English, 5 zines a week in German, 5 zines, and like they get passed around at different locales for the art stays the same, but everything else stays different, and people who are multilingual get the different references if they don't translate to English or to German or to Japanese or to whatever. That sound good? And I think do you want to name the zine, Puckett? I mean, you had actual zine names of the time.
All right. So this thing's getting churned out fast. Okay, so there was like this little tabloid zine, and I think it actually still exists, called Slug and Lettuce. And it got published constantly, but it was basically like a broadsheet. Anybody have any pithy ideas, punny names? Like, I'm seeing a bunch of stuff in chat, like Madonna's dead, God ain't dead, just sleeping, pop to pop. I mean, none of it seems necessarily sufficiently devotional because, or I mean, this is likely going to be a weird mix of divinity and religious theory, as well as tablet. I love that iconicide. I mean, that's a great band name, first of all, but that's
I'm sold.
Yeah.
Oh, I already know how the evangelicals call us. They call us iconoclasts. Basically, everyone that appears on these zines.
God, that is so good, Patrick.
And
I mean, that actually sounds like a zine name from 1996. I'm not even remotely kidding.
Okay, we have Henry Loudon's, the British reporter, the Iconicide zine, which I love that name. That is going to be my band name now. And I think we now are at the point where, we get to create a miraculous feature about the Capitol Records Tower, or the Tower. So we all get to choose this, so I'll just go in camera order. Ludo, what miraculous or interesting thing is at the Capitol Records Tower?
I'm gonna say that I think I was kind of joking with the secret floor, but I think that's it. That there is the 13th floor that only with invitation from at least 3 members of the Pantheon can you enter.
Okay. And Puckett, what miraculous thing is in that are you adding to the Pantheon building?
Have we already added a bar?
No.
Then I am adding basically the idea, the same concept as the restaurant of the end of the universe, but it's basically the best bar that ever was or will be. You know, I mean, this is before mixologists exist, but we have them because they're angels. And it doesn't matter what kind of alcohol or liqueur or, or what kind of add-on you need, it exists there, even if it was only even if it only ever existed in mythology. Like you can literally get ambrosia there if you want.
I imagine they have to have Soma on tap.
Yeah, I mean, and Jack, except I mean, since these angels are not savages, they don't refrigerate their whiskey. I mean, that's more of a food, but sure. Maybe there's like a little tapas bar associated with it, or you can get some like finger foods or some sharing plates or something like that, and you can get Soylent Green from, well, I don't even know what source it would be. I actually ran into a bar that did refrigerate whiskey. That's why I mentioned it, Sabine. It was here in town, and I yelled at them for it when I took the sip of whiskey and it was cold, and I'm like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? Who did this?"
Okay. So, Patrick, we have the best bar in the world in the secret 13th floor. What are we adding?
So I think the different levels of the tower, and like as we add new gods to the Pantheon, they each like shine out with a different color or kind of light. And I think there are these like fog mists that just come up in this neighborhood around the Pantheon at night. These colors sort of shine through them, and there are stories of like weird people or weird things happening to people as they get lost in the colors or in the fog. They go places or see things that seem unreal or impossible. It's probably just the drugs. These kids and their drugs.
I don't know where they'd get them. So Sabine, what are we adding?
What are we adding? I think, what do I want to add? I have so many ideas. I'm thinking about either a wishing well or the crocodile in the spa. I think I might go with the crocodile in the spa. Nobody knows where that crocodile has come from and what it wants and why it's there. It's there. And at first they try to get out, and that works. You can drag it out or tranquilize it and give it to the zoo, but it will always turn up again. I don't know why that is.
I like that.
It's a crocodile. And it's a crocodile, not an alligator. Which somebody who knows more about these animals than I do has said. So it is a crocodile.
Does it do anything? Like, does it try to bite people or eat them? Or does
No,
it just kind of sit there and look around? Or does it sleep?
Eats stuff if you give it to the crocodile. It hasn't eaten people as far as we know. I mean, if you try to feed a person to the crocodile, who knows what will happen? I don't know. I wouldn't feed things to, well, I will feed things to the crocodile, but usually it doesn't start flying or something.
I mean, does it move around in the spa?
Yeah,
like if if a masseur's giving a massage, does the crocodile like go underfoot or like knock him around? Or I mean, I guess what I'm asking here is does the crocodile have manners?
It has manners. Yes,
okay.
It does. It might show up and look at things, but if it's interested, but it won't get in the way or something like that.
And then does it have like a litter box or something? I mean, if it doesn't leave the spa,
it's a spa of relaxation. Those things are taken care of.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
I don't know. I haven't gone in search of the crocodile's litter box.
Okay.
I really like this. And it's not like there's ever been any cults that worship crocodiles of odd colors.
So last question, because I am genuinely fascinated by this idea and I really like it. I mean, this is like quirky and simultaneously really endearing and sweet. Has anyone named the crocodile?
Oh, that's a good question. I believe that the crocodile has right now multiple names. One of them is Dundee, but it hasn't actually responded to one of the names.
Okay. So we have not yet identified the crocodile's true name.
No,
okay.
But everybody knows who's meant when they say Dundee or the crocodile or Moses or something like that.
Last question. Who named it Dundee so I know who to punch?
Let me look at the character thingy because it has to be
I'm thinking it was an NPC.
Yeah, I'm thinking it was an NPC, but we have NPCs on here, the other gods, so it probably wasn't.
Okay, I think Ludo got it. They were already thrown out of the tower, but the name kind of stuck.
Okay.
It's got to have been one of the workers at the elemental spa of relaxation, where it's just like, oh, you named it that? Yeah, you're going back to Elysia now, but spa work.
Yeah, that you are banished. You're excommunicated.
Yes, and now we get to the last bit with some cultural, moral, coming-of-age themes that we like to see, explore, or avoid. Anyone feel free to check a theme. Feel free to mark any out that you don't want to see. There are some from this sort of naturally part of playing Monster Hearts, which, sexuality and infatuation, violence and fear, cruelty and bullying, confusion and mystery.
And we're taking these we want, or are we taking
Yeah.
these we don't want?
That you do want to see. If you do not want to see something, strike through it,
Okay.
and we will not touch that, even if someone else has already checked it.
I don't see one for class structures. Like
That could be
social
in write your own.
Okay.
Hmm.
That was very much a thing at that point. It's one of the reasons why fanzines and independent labels sprang up the way they did.
Okay, and when you're done, just give me a sign or let me know. And okay.
I tried to send a lightning bolt. Did that work?
No.
Okay.
And okay. So I think we are. Let me see if there's anything else on this. I think we'll. Yeah. How are some of these thematic elements represented in our world? What elements from the fiction are metaphors for the themes? Yeah, we can. I think that's more filling in as we go. Is that correct, Patrick?
Yeah, it usually works better that way.
Okay. So I believe we are ready for getting into business. We'll have the I think we'll take another 10-minute break. We can do some performances at the very least for this session. And I will write the NPCs up while we're on the break and make sure that everything is ready to go. Sound good to everyone? Be back 7 before the hour then. Well, while we are waiting, our others, I think we will.
What do you mean waiting?
I think. Oh, yay! Kismet. I think we're at least going to have everyone do a performance this game. And I think we're going to be describing the first performance we ever did, or your character ever did, which means we're going to be going in the order of how old you are, because your first performance would have been like the first performances of the Pantheon itself. And to see how well this goes, because I tried this before and the performances were interesting, but I think this means Echo gets to start and be as extra as she wants to be on stage, because she'll at least have this to be remembered. So, what was Echo's first performance?
So the first performance, I think it was at like an underground rave in a warehouse, something totally illegal, but like packed with a bunch of people. And she'd been there all night. She'd been drawn to the music, drawn to the lights, and thought that, maybe she was just too weird for the outside world now. But in here, everything was strange. Everything was unreal. And so surely these people would see her. And they didn't. They wouldn't. They were too caught up in the distraction and the rave and everything to see her. And I think she worked her way towards the booth, towards the DJ, and she was, I think, gonna try and like whisper to him, get his attention, see if she could get in there. But there was this microphone, and it was just sitting there, and he wasn't watching, and it was live, and just all of her frustration and all of her loneliness and all of her like fear about what had been happening to her just came out in this wail over the music that he was playing, and it seemed to just like digitize and distort and fit in exactly with the sound. So at first no one noticed, but it just built and it reverbed and got louder and louder until the whole crowd, there was just this like wailing screech through the speakers, and everybody sort of cringes, drops to their knees, holding their ears. But then they raise back up, their eyes sort of like reflecting the lights of the stage now, and the club just goes crazy. Like it's an intense, all out dancing rave for like hours until the sun starts breaking through. And none of them like remember her particularly, like details about her, but there was something there. There was this like reverb. There's this echo that they can't forget. They can't get out of their minds.
I love it, and I believe that our poor Echo will be remembering this performance as she stands backstage watching the first performance of our next divinity.
Nice.
So, Agaria or Danilo, which one of you was picked next? Which one of you is the has the most seniority after Echo?
How long is Danilo?
Agaria, I mean, Echo is 3 months old, and this would be a month or so after her. I remember Agaria and Danilo both said they were about 2 months old.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ludo. Take it.
Yeah. So it is. It is on a massive LA hall that nobody knows who really booked this, but we see five band members all wearing robotic suits that seem to be made of high-tech trash, and it seems at the same time to evoke South American and African and Asian cultures that are minorities in LA. And there is this singer that is covered by what seems to be like a golden breastplate and a sun mask. That there seems to be some sort of wind chimes coming from them. And the moment she opens her mouth, it's like everyone is just this cacophony. Every single band member seems to be uh, performing their own thing, like they are on a trance, and the woman is like she's singing on tongues, and there is the invisible hand of the conductor behind all of that. And at the middle of the second song, that's when Nigeria comes on full display and just making a guitar cry until the very strings break, but even afterwards it keeps playing.
I love that. And the audience is cheering, crying out for more. But as Luna has told you, we don't do encores. We do unless they're paid. And I think Agiria is going backstage as like the band members are collecting all the flowers, all the praise, signing the CDs that they're making. And Echo, you're backstage, and I'll ask Agiria, do you notice Echo as you move further backstage?
uh, I get the feeling of recognition, and I turn to Echo. I was at your show. I don't know if you remember me. People tend to forget about me.
I do. I remember you. You. Wait, you can see me?
What you mean? I can see you.
And I think she just sort of like leap forwards and hugs you around the neck.
And the Jason says back, well, I'm grateful. I would love to work with you. Uh, I've been trying to get to book the yard performance, but nobody seems to know who you are.
Well, you do. You do, and that's a start. That's something.
And I think the illumination of Luna in full moon mode as she is in the picture with the candle crown begins walking towards you both, the light filling up the back rooms. And she, I think, gently reaches out and almost touches Echo, but like reels back right at the last moment. Like she almost recoils or isn't quite terrified, but maybe it's making a statement of how you are seen. But either way, it seems kind of dismissive. But she smiles like, "You won't be alone for very long, my sweet Echo. The other friends we make along this trip will be able to see you. Will be able to work with you." Does Echo have anything to say to that?
Where's the next?
That's what we're working on. I mean, I think our newfound friend has brought so many to the family already that we don't have to be looking so desperately, Echo.
The next. There has to be more. There have to be more.
Of course there are more. Are you maybe trying to gaze into the abyss about who your next Pantheon mate will be?
Sure.
And just in case we are the luckily settling lobster.
Let's see. Clear. Yes, they're clear dice. Wow, geez, that's 12.
Yep. So I think you get this image of. I've added the NPCs. I added some pictures. Feel free to change them up if you don't like the pictures I chose. But I think you see Davina Death and Danilo on the street running. And Davina Death does not have the figure to run very far, but she is remarkably spry for what she's doing. Like she knows how to use her weight to best get over fences, how to hurl a brick at the pursuers just enough to slow them down but not injure for assault. And she and Danilo are finally in this back of a warehouse where the people who are chasing after them run by. I don't think you get a good identification of who was chasing them, be they police or other punks or other jerks. But the moon strikes down upon both their faces if they will both be important in the coming days.
Nice. I think Echo, she gets this like wide-eyed look of ecstasy across her face, and she says, "I see them. I see them. I can go find them." And as her form just wisps out and thins into nothingness, I think the last thing there is her eyes, one reflecting the sort of new moon glow of Luna, and the other the robot light of Ageria.
Ooh. Yeah, I think Luna looks at the form where you were. Her hand reaches out to like touch and see if there was anything, and just claws through the air a bit ominously, and she turns to Agaria. That one's a bit willful. Maybe I should have brought you in sooner.
Well, collaborations tend to happen whenever they are meant to happen. So these people, they are like us, or will they be like us?
If they have the right destiny, I can weave it into something like us. If there's someone willing to share their story, I can. It's. I think the youth are calling it fan fiction these days, but I have a much better grasp at writing than most people do.
Hmm. We need to find them. My talents do not seem to work very well when I try myself. I always tend to blurry with my own story. Maybe I can help you write this one if you want someone to do some copy editing, that is.
Hmm, that is an interesting proposition. I think she's like looking at her hand where she hadn't been able to grasp Echo and clenches it into a fist. It might be interesting to see what control you can exert with the correct penmanship.
Well, I'm still pretty new to this, but I'm eager to learn. I want to see people do their best. You see what I can do with people that are just beginning their career. I wonder what I can accomplish if I work with an established musician or someone with or skills.
Yeah, I think Luna turns and leads you further backstage as we cut into somewhere in like near the border where like a bunch of punks are thrashing about, listening to quite the youthful rebellion of music. Luna is nowhere to be seen as Echo and Agiria are walking through the crowd looking for the people that Echo saw, as they are supposed to be here. So yeah, what I think you guys are. I'll ask Puckett. What is the musical scene where we're at? Like, what is the? Like, is it lots of mosh pits? Just a street performance that's going on until the cops stop us?
It's actually a hole in the wall club, and the cops are already there, yelling at the owner that they need to shut it down because the music inside is evil, supports Satan, and so forth. These are the last vestiges of the satanic panic.
Well, I know from my stepfather, the Satanic Panic in South America was a lot. It lasted a bit longer and was a bit more vociferous because of superstitions in certain places.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think Echo. I think you actually see Danilo standing on the like. Well, where are you standing, Danilo? Like, are you on the stage? Are you on the bar chucking bottles at people? What
I'm
made?
standing next to the owner, facing down the cops. I don't like cops.
So yeah, Echo. What do you do?
Um, I think I'm there. I see him trying to stare down the cops, and I'm just next to him. He isn't even looking at me, but I'm yelling louder and louder for him to sing. Just open your mouth. Just sing. Just do it. You can do it. And maybe it's she's not there, trying to reach out,
Yeah,
communicate with him.
definitely. If you are, this can be that you can leave it up to narrations you cannot communicate, or you can roll to try and communicate.
I like I like the narrative actually of I can't until he does start singing. Maybe it's some part of him that hears me. Maybe it's just what was going to happen. But
Yeah.
you know, that's that moment where I see it flip over and he can start to hear me.
Yeah, and I think as much as Echo is like dramatic and desperate for someone to hear her, I think the crowd is slowly parting as Agiria and Luna in her half moon phase, which I think this is her half blood moon. So part of her veil is pure red, part is pure white. She looks like a very odd Bloody Mary or La Llorona walking through the crowd. And I think she's holding her hand out for Agiria's path to be cleared, and she points towards Danilo and allows Agiria to try her magic if she'd like.
Yeah, I wonder. I wonder if that counts as a performance of some sort, or if she actually gives Kim a hint of what he can get.
Let me
Yeah.
see. Probably not that move. Not a. You could do a surprise collaboration with their first song, perhaps, or you can you can do like since you have the Kingmaker purview, you can work a miracle to try and direct how his incarnation will go. Whether that works or not, we can see.
Yeah, I think we're gonna do it this way. We see Garia, we see this robot suit wearing man coming, slowly playing the same tone over and over under the guitar. It's kind of in a hypnotic manner as he approaches Danilo. And as this is happening, I'm both working a miracle and trying to show him my collection.
Ooh,
So let me pick a color for me.
do you want to choose the consequences, or shall I?
You choose.
Um.
Let me roll. This is with what?
Oh, working a miracle, you just describe how your miracle manifests, then deal with the consequences. It's not a roll.
Roll. Okay. So you pick.
Yeah, so I think that with Echo's exuberance in his ear, he is actually listening in a bit to the subconscious echoes of your actual self. And Danilo, you get to ask a question of Agiria, and he must answer honestly.
And before that, maybe because this might change what you ask. as I am showing what you can become and what is your birthright, the peaks that you can ascend if you just join us, you get a glimpse of a secret that you need to know. A secret that maybe can be harmful, maybe it's forbidden, maybe it has been denied to you, but you just cannot stop but want to get it.
Okay. Here's my question. How are you going to try to kill Luna?
And I must answer truthfully, right?
Correct.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna answer. I am going to take her secrets and show it to the world. She will wish she would be dead. And what is the secret that you see on my collection that you want?
Hmm.
And this can be tied to the revenge, like the true name of the people who shot at you.
Yeah, I want the names of every Death Squad member. All of them.
And I think
I intend to be a busy boy.
do you want to count that as like one secret or parcel out the names as many secrets, Agaria?
I would say that that counts. Well, it depends. Do you want to get rewarded and catharsis every single one you bring down, or when you bring all of them together?
I don't know that I'm going to feel catharsis or rewarded when I kill all of them, because I'm still going to have to live with knowing what they did.
Okay, so I would say that yes, all of them count as a big secret, and you're gonna get XP once you learn that from.
Yeah, and I think
Oh wait, I'm already gaining XP.
yes, because
Nice.
I think Luna will walk by. Luna did not hear the answer to that question. That was between you guys only. But her red hand almost like reaches through Agaria's ephemera, like grasps the file with all their names and their ranks, and walks forward and like she holds out the file to Danilo. But I think that's when he hears the whistling of the forest. And you know that if you take the file, your life will be forever changed.
It was changed before the file.
Yeah, so I think this is the first time we see Luna creating someone, and she like hands the file over and grasps him with both hands on the side of his head, and you will be loved, you will be cherished, you will be worshipped, you will be reviled, you will have family, and you know the problems that brings. Welcome to the Pantheon, El Tanucci. And she steps back, and that's when you can hear the loud, loud, loud vocalizations, like right in your ear from Echo.
I think the first thing you see to realize something's changed is that my hands are suddenly on fire.
Oh dear.
And I'm not even noticing. But I want these cops gone.
Well, I think that you can definitely work a miracle and do that if you would like, or maybe you can create a punk performance which even like overthrows the cops' allegiances to their current masters.
The question I have, how many of the cops present are in the folder?
Sadly, none. I think you're near the lines to Mexico and LA, not in Brazil right now.
Gotcha. I think I'm going to go old school. And bear with me because I'm like switching between tab after tab after tab after tab and trying to keep the necessary stuff open at the same time. So I have the moves for both Monster Hearts as well as, once again, we return. I want to lash out physically at the cop cars.
You certainly can. Are you using a? Is this would be more of a? Well, yeah. This is lashing out physically. Are you going to use like? Let me check your purview. Do you want to use like a?
I think this falls under rolling over ashes because I don't need to destroy the cop cars. I just want to. So it's unnecessary.
Yeah, but it's like a. Are you doing like opening up a?
Can of whoop ass? Why, yes, I am.
Opening up a crevice and like dropping the cars in there without care for what happens, or like making trees fall on all the cars in like domino fashion.
Oh. I think I'm going to do even better. Vines start growing out of the ground and wrapping around the cop cars and then start squeezing. So you see shards of cop cars flying off. You see cop cars being cut in half. Exactly. Almost like kudzu, but like thick forest vines. Just strangling these cop cars, literally cutting them in half, shattering them, crunching them into tiny little balls of metal.
Yeah, roll volatile to, and I think you are dealing extra harm with this.
Alrighty, here. I'm gonna move these 2 dice out of the way.
Ooh,
that is a natural 10.
So you got an 11. So yeah, I think that the vines would normally have been 3 harm with the primal expression of nature and wrath. So with your you crush the cars. You can, with that roll, I think you can shape them into like a stage for your first performance if you would like.
Ooh, that sounds clever. Vines and cop cars is a stage. I like that.
Yeah, and I think Luna chuckles at your antics and raises her veil just enough so you can see her lips, which are sort of like the geisha paint of like white around the edges and that red line down the middle. And she's like, perhaps you should sing for those who can no longer shut your performances down.
I'll jump up on stage, lower my head, take a deep breath, lift my head just enough so that the cops can see my eyes, which look like they're just infernos of hell, and begin screaming, "Death will claim us all!"
And
it's a straight up death metal show after that. Double bass, blast beats, the works.
And I think Luna is smiling a bit too widely at this, and she is ignoring Agaria and Echo while the performance is going on. Does that make you feel anything, Agaria or Echo?
Actually, I think I want to take a condition because I'm really upset that that Luna just took one of my secrets and handed it over. Somehow
Ooh,
that feels very, very territorial, like Luna is intruding into my divine purview. So, do
yeah.
I roll shut someone down or just take the condition?
You can definitely shut Luna down if you'd like for doing that.
Okay. I'm very bad at this, but I got a 10.
So yeah, choose. Luna has no strings on you, so you can take a string on her.
Okay, so they have no strings on me. Okay, so I went to take a string on Luna.
Go ahead.
Okay. I'll remember this. Jerry will remember this.
And Echo, are you feeling any kind of way? Patrick?
I don't think he's still there. He looks frozen.
Yep.
Or he's
Yeah.
just very deeply immersed into his character.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that answered it.
Yep.
So, yeah, I think we will wait for Patrick to get back and then envelop Pasithea into our wonderful pantheon. Our loving, caring, sharing pantheon, which is a 90s TV after-school special.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Jerry is starting already to go.
All I'm going to say is that there's a reason why the character is named Danilo Bomba.
Yeah, he's gonna blow everything away.
Well, and Danilo means God. Pretty much only God can judge me.
But there's so many gods to judge you.
Yeah, everyone I knew is a god. Come on.
Well, and y'all have already been judging me.
Oh, and I can't believe I forgot Dundee the crocodile. That is a crocodile.
And he's a god, and he's judging you.
Well, I don't know about a god, but certainly demonstrating some elements of divinity. So, yeah. God, I wonder how Davina's going to feel about me wrecking these cop cars and making a stage out of it. I mean, she chose the name Davina Death. I'm sure she'll be fine with it, right?
I'm sure this is going to make the front page of Iconicide for at least a week, if not more.
Yeah. Well, and this is back at the point when camcorders started being a little more prevalent. Like people would start filming shows and that sort of thing. So I wouldn't be surprised if this gets passed around, and in the future will be uploaded to YouTube, but YouTube doesn't really exist at this point. So,
yeah.
But yeah, it's probably going to get dubbed to videotapes, and you'll have like 17th generation copies floating around places. And like
the secondhand copies would be able to pay you like 2 years through college.
Yeah, pretty much. And the funny thing is, the more generations it's gone through, somehow the better it gets. Like it looks even grainier and the sound's even worse, and it makes it seem even more authentic. So people, they don't want like the actual copy or like the first generation dubs. They want the farthest dub removed from the original that they can get. So that actually turns into something, and you wouldn't think that it would be that much of a collector's market, but you can't have a 25th generation dub until you've had an 18th generation dub. So people are just kind of like dubbing and dubbing and dubbing as quickly as they can using those using like the 2-deck VCRs. I know way too much about that scene. What did I do with my life? Funny thing is, you might appreciate this, Ferret. There back in those days, I actually ran into band members who were RPG fans, and they wanted me to run sessions of things like Paranoia for them.
Well, it looks like our wonderful Echo is having some computer problems. I think we can.
Oh, they're rebooting.
Yeah.
Did you already check the Slack?
I did.
Okay.
So I would, do we want to take a 5-minute break to give them time and come
Sure.
back?
I mean, we could also. I mean, it's 3:30. we can take 5 and come back, and then I mean, we can either do Sabine's show without Patrick, or we could wait until next week. But Sabine,
I
you're not
won't
gonna
be
here
there
next
next week. So
All right, so we need to get Sabine's show done. Okay, got it.
I would like to have one scene where I can play this character.
Yes, absolutely. I can't imagine Patrick's going to disagree or have a different opinion.
I don't know. I mean, this game is made for 4. I think it's packed with 4 players. 5 players might be a bit too much. I don't know. I'm not sure myself. But I would love to play with all of you because this looks totally fun. So,
well, I don't want to miss out on another, Burger the Busy moment.
I didn't get that. I'm sorry.
The Meadow Sea sessions you did with Mike Barford back in March, I think.
That was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago, and I still remember
100. That was 100 sessions ago.
But I still remember things that you did in that session, which is one of the reasons why I'm like, yes, please stick with us. Let's run with 5.
Welcome back, Patrick. I saw you at looked like you were dabbing a bit, and then
Yeah, it was. My computer's just being the worst today.
Yeah, well, Danilo has vined together several cop cars to be the stage for his first performance. Did a death metal show, and I was thinking, Agaria shut down Luna because Luna barged through their bargaining ceremony. Got a string on Luna. I was going to ask, what was your first impression of Danilo, or what do you do to Luna as she is ignoring you and Agaria for Danilo's song?
I think Echo gets caught up in Danilo's performance. Like, there's a lot of anger and frustration in it, and I think it echoes with her. Like, it hits something in her, and I think she would, if anything, like, back him up and just enhance his performance.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. And I think like a month, or like probably a few weeks passes as Danilo is like in the end of the month, and it's I think Pasithea, we find you waking up in the middle of a field with Luna, Danilo, Agaria, and Echo looking down on you. There is like this pipe full of herbs that you don't remember lighting in one hand, and a very impressive lighter in the other. And Luna is dressed in, I think, full white, but without the candle crown. This time it's like a silver circlet. And she's dabbing your forehead with water and a rag. And it's like, are you awake yet? Have you...
No, but I usually am not awake, so that's fine. Wait for me.
She chuckles. Like, you have spirit about you. That will do very well for what's just transpired.
Cool. Is Echo there?
Yeah, and I think you can definitely see Echo because you are now divine. You took a hit and passed out and woke up as a god.
Cool.
Can you? Hello? Can you see me?
Yeah, sure. Hi.
Hello.
Cool dress.
Thank you. Most people don't notice it. Most people don't notice
What?
me.
That's amazing. That's an amazing dress, girl. Let me look at you. Wow.
I'm not entirely very real, so
Oh, okay. That explains it. Yeah. Oh, well. Reality is overrated anyway.
I
Yeah,
agree.
I think Luna's like a bit annoyed that Pasithea just like pushed her away for Echo of all people. If you would like to shut Luna down.
It's not intentionally, but yeah, sure. I mean, who's she? I don't know, but
She's
yeah,
just a strange woman in a veil, tapping your head, and
yeah, touching people's heads like that. I don't know. I had a nun do that once. Oh wow, but I rolled a 4, so not so very great.
ooh.
Oh wait, that's with Cole. I rolled a 2. Sorry. Doesn't matter anyway. Get an
So
XP.
yeah, mark experience, and I think she like Luna. You can tell that her mouth is frowning a bit because she has dark lipstick under the veil, and she looks at Agaria as like, maybe I should have had him focus test this one a bit more like the last one. And she waves her hands like, it's almost time for your first performance, my dear.
Oh, okay, cool.
Do you have any singing training? Do you have a song you'd like to perform?
Yeah. You know, I was at the zoo last week and I heard this whale, and I think I can do that. It's amazing. It wasn't amazing.
And I think like Luna looks at it looks up at the moon, like staring at her own reflection. Just
Who are you anyway? I mean, just I realize I don't even know your names, or maybe I do and I've forgotten them. It happens a lot.
oh, how rude of me! I had forgotten. I am Luna. I
Hey,
am your
that's a nice
mother,
name.
your grandmother, a
Oh,
matron, a patron, all in one.
yeah, cool.
This is Echo, your eldest sister. She seems to already have a thing for you.
Yeah, I have a thing for her too.
I don't have any things for anybody. I'm just happy that we're a family, a bigger
Oh, okay,
family.
cool. Family's cool, I guess.
And she motions towards Agaria. It's like, as you can see, we have a producer of sorts, one who is learning the errors of not being on stage all the time.
What would no, I don't go with producers and stuff like that. That's much too much like, like business and money and things like that. Nah, that's not my scene.
I don't care about that. Just think of me as someone that wants to make you look as good as you can, to make you the most you as you can be.
Yeah, I can do that myself, dude.
Oh, I love it. I would love to see that.
Look at me. Here I am.
Yeah, but don't you want to share that with the world?
Sure.
And I think this is making Luna chuckle a bit, and she turns to Danilo. It's like, and this is El Tanucci, the youngest of the group, outside of you now.
Okay. Hi, youngest of the group.
So,
And Luna keeps waiting for there to be more conversation. It's like, oh, I forget, this is the '90s. Let us be off to the stage. And I think she turns the veil, covers the camera, and then descends, and we're behind a large stage where everyone will get to perform. But like the final closing act is Pasithea's first performance, and I think you're going on after Danilo.
hey, real quick. How do you feel about cops?
Yeah, I mean, they have their scene, I have my scene. There's no overlap. And if they, okay, so I don't like to be arrested at all.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I'm good with that. Like, yeah, if they try to arrest you, I'll just, I don't know,
Yeah,
blow up their car, do some shit.
for all kinds of bullshit, right? Because you have controlled substances. Like, why do you have to control substances? It's not like they do anything of their own. So stupid.
How do you feel about beer?
Yeah, beer is okay-ish. I like more creative stuff.
I think we're going to be friends.
Yeah. Yeah, you seem nice.
Yeah, it's hit me up after the show. I got my pipe with loaded up with some good shit.
Oh, wow. I love you already.
Kill him. Literally.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
Oh, I just kill him. Knock him dead. Literally.
Oh, right. Yeah, I don't hold with violence all that much, but yeah.
Okay, I may have to tell you to close your eyes every once in a while, but it's okay. I'm only violent with people who deserve it.
Hey, you do you. I do myself. I do me. Sound good?
Yeah, and Pasithea gets to head on the stage and describe her first performance and what it does to the crowd.
Yeah, what first performance, it starts out as it's very weird because what she actually does is the whale song that she heard, and it's literally like ooh. But there's a weird rhythm to it, and over the first iteration of this, there you can hear other nature noises like chickens clucking, and then the wind and wave, and then the sound starts coming in, and it becomes something else because you can see the ocean in the room. It's like you're in the ocean, and there are fishes in that ocean that are jumping about. They are very colorful fishes. They are also singing, of course, but they're not singing words. That's just noises. And then there are ocean. What else do we need? Ocean is boring. We need ships and pirates. Yes, and suddenly there's a pirate ship and somebody singing a shanty. That is actually the only part that's actually kind of music when it shouldn't fit, but weirdly enough, it does. And people start dancing and clapping, and everybody's making their noise. And this is a happy little noise, percussion-y thing. Cacophony is the right word, I think, here. But it's strangely harmonic anyways. And I think afterwards the people will be exhausted, and they will still see singing fishes when they go home somewhere, and maybe a pirate-like looking guy humming a shanty. Sorry. Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think we're going to flash forward a bit to like the end of the first month that Pasithea has been a goddess. And Luna has you at the rumored 13th floor of the Capitol Records Tower. There are these two split tables that look like parentheses in a sort of a circle, and Luna is walking around the table, placing photographs of people on the table in front of everyone. These are prospective gods and goddesses and divinities to be brought in, and I think Echo gets the photo that we have of Shango, and she walks past Pasithea, past Echo, past Agaria, past Danilo to the main chair and sits down, and she looks sort of introspective as she considers her next words. Just, We need a new act. We need more family. And it's about time that someone else has come to grace our halls. Do you have any choice in the do you have any preference of the people I have put before you? I think these are like headshots with their backgrounds, their life story behind them.
Yeah, I'd prefer somebody who hates cops.
Is there a mermaid or a unicorn?
What does it matter? We'll only be ruining their lives. Is it not better if we don't pick anyone? Let them come to us if they really are like moths to the flame.
Hey, if you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice. That
Yeah,
was a Rush lyric, and it's true, man.
yeah, but I'm making a choice. I don't want any of them.
You're still choosing.
We need more. This is meant to be. This is fate. What happens if we don't get all of them? What if we're just here and it doesn't mean anything?
Good
If we
question.
don't get all of them, then we're not playing Pokemon, right?
It's a Pokemon.
I think Luna.
Oh, I want a Pokemon! Yes!
Of course, the guy who hates cops brings up catching animals to put in fights. That I'm really surprised you like that angering machine.
I don't want them to fight. I just think they're cute. Like, I can like animals, right? I don't want to see animals fighting. I sure as hell don't want to. I mean, I don't want to make them fight. I'm not into dog fighting or anything like that. I'd rather just incinerate the people who are doing it and give the puppies a good scratch. They're good dogs.
You heard everything. So you
Wait.
look.
So are
How
you
about-
the one behind the crocodile?
Look, I don't know anything about that crocodile. It was here when I got here. Look, I'm just letting it be. I'm letting
It's a
it
nice crocodile.
I'm just
It
saying,
hasn't been
everybody
there.
said it was here when they got here, but someone
Yeah.
had to bring the crocodile.
Well, you were the oldest,
Can we
Deku.
choose the crocodile?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe Luna brought it. Luna, did you bring the crocodile?
Dundee was here before I made my presence known.
So who the fuck had a crocodile on this floor?
Also,
It's-
what about police dogs? What is your stance on police dogs? Because I can see a conflict of interest there.
I mean, it can't be their fault that they were trained to be narcs, right?
You know, all dogs want to be good dogs, right? So, I mean, they're just doing what they were trained to do. You know, they're basically doing. Well, I guess now that I'm a god, I realize there really isn't any such thing as free will. We're all doing what we were trained to do, right? We're all doing what we were selected to do.
Like picking
We're all
some.
performing functions.
I agree with Agaria this time. Enough of your chatter. And she goes and starts grabbing the pictures, and I think she looks at Pasithea a bit too directly, like she's getting a buzz off of her. And then she just throws the pictures in the air and holds out her hand, and the one with Shango flies back and lands in her hand. She grasps it, clutches the picture, and slams it down. This is who we are going for next. This is who will be your sister. Or in this age, we will allow her to gender herself. We do not need to be too pushy. She looks at Agaria with the. You can tell her eyes are burrowing into you from behind the veil.
So there's like table in the center of us.
Yes.
I think if she slams it down, I'd like to work a miracle. Turn the table into a mirrored surface that's showing Shango where she is right now, or Amelia, I guess.
Ooh, that's good. Will you choose the consequences, or shall I choose the consequence?
Let's see. I'll let you choose this time.
You have created the magic mirror from Snow White, basically. This table will now tell us all their good, all their bad, and their secrets if you know the correct words to say. And I think only Echo can hear the secret words to say in Echoes right now. So I'm sure the secret words will be found in Agaria's collection sooner or later.
So yeah, I think she sort of like giggles happily and then leans into the table like it's saying something to her, sort of nods and There's just like a little like private conversation going on there.
I think Luna like directs her hand at Echo. It's like, at least one of you is acting with the divinity that has possessed you, not like you're high, not like you're angry.
What's wrong with being high? Why are you so mean to us?
And I'm the fucking god of wrath. I mean, I'm fulfilling my function. Jesus, get off my back.
Have you pondered, perhaps, Luna, that some of us might have been privy to all this knowledge, but just don't feel it to be shared?
What's that Jesus guy anyway? Once we're on this, I mean, I just wonder because I have this guy who tells me I should go and find Jesus, and I'm thinking, hey, maybe I can. That would be amazing.
I mean, it would totally be amazing if you could like find him and like, drag him out and kind of make him answer for everything that like people have done in his name and like see if he agrees with it or he tells him to fuck off. Or...
I'm sorry, are we talking about beating up Jesus?
Are we
No.
talking about Jesus being one of us?
I mean, he said turn the other cheek. I can turn a few of his cheeks.
You can't hit Jesus. It's not his fault that people are so weird.
Yeah,
I mean, 2,000 years ago.
First of all, yes, I can. I can do a lot of different things.
you know that is anti-Semitic, right?
And I think
I
Luna
want
just
to punch the guy because he's a douche, not because he's a Jew.
I think Luna throws up her hands like, I am not being mean. I am asking you to act civil for just a few moments. If you find that being mean, then maybe that says more about you than my directives.
No.
Fine. And I take the bottle of Jack that I just finished emptying, throw it out the window from the 13th floor, where it will hit a cop car below and strike with unnatural force, just wrecking the car. Say, I can be civil. I will go meet this person with you, and I will even say something nice. I promise.
Well, I cannot promise that last part. I cannot promise I'll say something nice. I'll say
I can
something
say something nice.
Say something nice. You can say hello, nice dress, lovely weather we're having. Come on.
And I think like to see like the magic in the mirror that Luna has over it. Amelia is like smoking a joint right now, like puts it down. Luna reaches. Yeah, Luna reaches into the mirror, picks out the joint, and like lifts up her veil so only her lips are seen, and takes a huge grandmother OG hit of just like half the joint gone in one.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
Right?
Yeah. And Luna hands the rest of the joint over to Pasithea, just exhales behind the veil. It's like,
look, she's hotboxing herself. Maybe we can get along after all.
Yeah, so I thought she might need one of these, and I'll smoke the joint and make the smoke from the joint into all kinds of Pokemons, really.
and I think Luna looks at Pasithea. It's like, get your stash ready. We have to repay what we just took. Let's go, children. It's time to meet the newest sibling. And that's where we will cut it this time. Thank you for all who have watched. I'm going to end the broadcast, and we will do some stars and wishes.